Hello, fiber fans, friends, and followers. My name is Beth, and I'm here to talk to you about all of the yarny things I've gotten into recently. Today, I will have a prompt for this bag right here. I will also be talking about a finished object that I'm wearing, and I have a couple more, three more, I think, actually, finished objects that are not as time-consuming to even talk about, but finished objects nonetheless. And then I've got some works in progress that I want to talk about, including a new cast-on or two. I have no business doing this. I have so many works in progress, but here I am, couldn't help myself. I just wanted to do it, and that's just how I am. I'm impulsive with my cast-ons and yarn shopping and everything in life. My husband has to rein me in sometimes, so it's good that I have him. Anyhow, anything, if I forget to mention something about a work in progress, finished object, whatever I happen to be talking about, it should be linked below. So if you're interested in anything that I'm talking about, just check out the description box, and yarn, colors, weights, well, probably not weights, but you can find that if you know the actual yarn name. Anyhow, you get the idea. I do have a link directly to my Ravelry page, so you can see all my works in progress there. I try to be very good about keeping things up to date there. Sometimes I may be a little behind on the pictures and the progress of what I'm making, but for the most part, if I cast on, I've got it on my Ravelry project page. So with that being said, let's talk about what I'm wearing. I did a twirl in it actually yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Oh, maybe it was a week ago, because I know I put a picture on Instagram of this, and the designer Aneta actually commented on it. So I was happy that to see that. It's always fun to see a designer commenting on the things that you make of theirs. So hi Aneta, if you're watching. Let's get into the details so that you guys know what and who I'm talking about. So this is the Sylvan tee. It is a pattern designed by Aneta Bleyer of Knitting.Adventures. She is, I believe, German. I believe she lives in Germany. So a lot of her patterns are done with, you know, the metrics measurements first and everything like that. So it makes sense to me, because, you know, that's what I would do if I were European too. Anyhow, Sylvan is spelled Sylvan. There is another recent design that is a t-shirt that's Sylven. So not to confuse them. I loved making this. You start with the back cable, and you start from the middle and you work your way out to both ends. So you do one side first, pick up the stitches, and then go back. I think it was actually a provisional cast on. It's been a while since I did that part of it. That was before the meetup. Now, this was intended to be my knit along thing for the Makers Meetup, which was held in Hoffman Estates in July. Speaking of which, if you're interested, they are already planning for next year and the year after that. They've already got the reservations at the hotel in Hoffman Estates. I highly recommend you check out PJ Knits on Ravelry or Instagram to find out details about that. Anyhow, they had a teal knit along, and so this was my teal that I used for that knit along. I wanted to be included in at least one of them. They had, I think, 3 different ones that they were doing, and I missed the pictures, so I asked Penny if she could take my picture and just kind of put me in, and she did a great job of it. So that is over on Instagram. There's a group of people, and I had it unfinished with the needle still in the sleeve, and anyhow, great knit. I loved everything about it. One thing I want to point out, the hem, I'm trying to do this without showing my belly. The hem is an I-cord, and she said to go down a needle size for that. And at the time that I did the hem, I was too lazy to go find my smaller needle, so I just did it in the regular size needle. I also didn't fully read the instructions, so the end does not look as nice as it could, but I think I did a decent job of fixing it up afterwards. Anyhow, the sleeves, I did size down my needle. This, I like how it looks in back, but there goes my knee on the table leg again. But I feel like this bump here is created by that cable in back. And so on the front, it makes it look like more of a bell sleeve, which was not the look I was going for. And I have to think that if I had just continued with like the regular size needle, it might not look as much like it's pulling in at the cuff of the sleeve. But I also went with a shorter sleeve than the pattern recommends. The pattern has the sleeve coming like all the way down to here. And for me, I just don't feel like that's the most flattering look. And other people may disagree with me about how I look in that kind of sleeve, but I don't care. So another thing that she does with the sleeve, which I think is kind of cool, and that this may add to why it looks puffier with the bind off where I have it, is that she has short rows in it in order to add like sort of that shoulder thing to it. So, I mean, I'm not going to take it apart. I'm not going to redo anything. I really think the overall thing is really just a nice finish. This yarn was perfect. This is Picks Woolen Cotton in the colorway Overalls. There's one thing that I noticed. Let's see. Can I see it here? It almost looks like eyelets in here before the bind off, but on this side, I don't see that. And I don't know what, if anything, I did differently other than maybe wasn't tensioning the same way. I don't remember where. I was going to say, I don't remember where you pick up to do this border, but I don't think you do. I think this is an incorporated I-cord. So I think it's just the left versus right decreases or increases, whatever it was that I did in that part of it just must have come out differently. And I did not notice that as I was knitting it. But now that I'm wearing it, I'm noticing it. But I don't think that most people are going to look at that and say, ooh, that's a problem. So I don't have a problem with it. And I think that's everything I need to say about this. I highly recommend this. I think this is, it is, because of the wool content, I do think it's it's a little warm. You don't want to wear it on the hottest summer day, but it is a nice, like, t-shirty feel. I just, this was a delight to knit, and it went pretty quickly. So if I hadn't, I also want to say, if I had not been doing that thing that I've been doing all summer where I'm alternating doing fall content and summer content, this would have been done in time for the meetup. So really all it was after the meetup was the sleeves that I had to do, which, you know, look at how short they are. That went quickly. So my next finished object, I don't have. I made scrubbies. I was supposed to go up to Michigan with some knitting friends. And it was actually something that had been initially intended as like a stitching event. And, you know, I don't stitch, but as part of this smaller group of people who, I'm the only one who doesn't stitch with these women. I only knit and crochet. So they go to a shop that's nearby that is like a stitching shop. And I don't go to that because I don't stitch. At any rate, the hostess invited us to her summer home in Michigan, and they all went, and at the last minute I decided not to because with all the traveling I've been doing, I have not been eating right for myself. It is so hard sometimes to eat the right things to keep myself properly nourished for the stomach issues that I have. So I did not end up going, but I did make a hostess gift of 3 different scrubbies from Yarn Bee Scrubby yarn. And so I will put a picture in here of the scrubby that I made. I did one with each yarn, and I had different sized hooks that I used for them. It's all on my Ravelry page. So this is, I think this one is the best one. This is the one that came out the biggest. I would say, it's funny, the picture shows them next to each other in the different sizes, because if you look at like the size of each of the strands, like here's the strand of the multicolored one, and here's the strand of the blue one. They're very different sizes, and so they made different sized scrubbies. And here is this fluffy one. So it was so simple to make these, and I didn't go exactly to the pattern. The pattern was called Scrub It Scrubby by Pam Stiff, and I kind of altered it a little bit because one of the things she says to do is to take a pool noodle and slice off some of it so that you put it inside, and then it's more squishy. It probably gives it a little more sturdiness when you're scrubbing your dishes, but I didn't have a pool noodle. I didn't really think that would add to it, especially with this one, because this is a very, it's stretchy. Like, you can see the stretch in that, but it really crochets up to being a big stiff thing where when you scrub dishes, it does not need anything in it. But you may be of a different opinion. I just wanted to show this too because that was also in the picture with it, sort of for, I kind of did these all around the same time. But this, I forget the pattern name of this, but I will add that to my show notes. And this was made with Knit Picks Dishie, and I don't remember the colorway, but I will put that all in the show notes just because, and the only reason I'm showing it now, I did this a while ago, but I wanted to add that in here because I did show that in the picture. So But definitely, I keep bumping this table leg. I think I'm sitting more to the right or to that side than I normally do. That's my left. I don't know if it's your right. I think it is. Anyhow, that's the Scrubbies. I gave those to her as a hostess gift, and I no longer have them to show. So yeah, even though I didn't go on the trip, I ended up giving them to her at the next time we went to Knit Night. I just came up with my Sandy bag prompt. So let me grab the bag. This is a bag that was gifted to me by Sandy. Thank you, Sandy, if you're watching. I appreciate it. Sandy is a lovely woman who comes to the Makers Meetup, and she gives out bags to the podcasters who come to the meetup for us to give to our viewers. So this is a lovely pink one, and this is a pocket here. It's got these lovely straps with the pink houndstooth on them. It's got a nice vinyl bottom, and it opens up really big. It's got a pocket inside, and then there's a zipper on that pocket so you can zip things in, and it is so spacious inside. You can carry probably, I would say you could probably put at least 3 sock projects in this, and your purse. So I didn't even see at first, there's like, in that pink part, there's sort of a design in it. They look like avocados to me, or maybe boiled eggs. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Anyhow, so what is your favorite thing to give as a hostess gift? I sometimes find that difficult because you don't want to give the same thing over and over, because I feel like people end up with too much of the same thing. Some people like to give gift cards, which I think that's something that's usable and something that can be convenient for people. But I just thought this Scrubby was perfect for the occasion, because we were going to be staying at her house, and I figured she'd probably be doing dishes and stuff too, which I would have gladly helped her with had I gone. But yeah, so what's your favorite hostess gift to give? If you would like the opportunity to get that bag, please comment below with the answer to that question, and I will enter your name into the drawing. Okay, works in progress. I am like, my knee just hit the table again. Okay, I have got, you guys, my Flutter Buttshirt. I tried it on, I did a spin, we'll talk. Okay, so I have got this mostly finished. However, you will see in the video that I recorded that I put my hands on my sides to show where my natural waist actually is. And that is where it is recommended that you start, because it's bottom up, and then you add the ruffle afterwards. So it is like sort of midline up, I guess you could say. And I think because I blocked it, it stretched out. I know that's what happened. And so in this slub yarn, I did not know that I was going to get so much extra distance just from blocking it. Now, I suppose I could try blocking it and like pulling it outward, you know, stretching it sideways so that rather than stretching down, it'll stretch out. But I don't know that I like that result either. So having seen it on the video, I gotta tell you, after recording the video this morning, I looked at it and I went, that's not that bad. I kind of pulled it up to show where I would like it to hit. And I will say, I definitely liked it better with the way I had it pulled up. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know what to do because it is bottom up. So I can't just pull that out. I could, if I wanted to, I could hem it. I don't know how. But like from right here, I could take it and sort of fold this fabric in somehow. I could even, I could make it so that like I have a little, so that something's hanging over here, which would kind of be weird. Or I could take it and cinch it in on the inside so that then I have it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Anyhow, I don't want to do that. If I were to undo this, what I would likely do is find where I want to eliminate the fabric, somewhere in here, somewhere in this area, and because it is bottom up, I cannot just, you know, take this part off and undo from the bottom of this part. I would have to cut somewhere in here and then unravel from here down to here, which seems like a lot. I mean, this has been in timeout for a while because of that. And I am now down to this much yarn. There might be another one about that size. Maybe not. I don't find it in my bag. It may be somewhere downstairs, but yes, this is all the yarn I have left, friends. So you may have noticed in the video, I only had one sleeve, and that's not even a full sleeve. I knew I was running out of yarn, and I thought maybe I can conserve yarn, do just a smaller sleeve, which I have to say again, when I looked at the video, I liked what I did with the sleeve much better than I did looking at it in real life. So it's funny how that goes, that, you know, over time things get better. Sometimes you just have to wait a while and look at it again. So one of the things I did right here, I picked up a little bit more for the sleeve because I wanted to have the ruffle a little bit longer. So I didn't pick up just the, there's a hair, boop. I didn't pick up just the sleeve stitches. So there is a little bit extra fabric that doesn't have to be there. But I also, what I thought would be kind of cute, I did short rows up and down to try to make the top part longer and the bottom part not as long. So that is a modification that I don't hate, but the way I bound off, I don't love. I tried to do sort of a welt as I bound off to make it look sort of like an I-cord. And if you've ever knit a welt, you understand how to, you go down to a purl bump a row or two down and you knit that together with the stitch that's on your needle. So I don't know. This one's in timeout. And maybe I will contact Devin and see if I can get a single skein of this. I don't know. So that's that for Flutter Buttshirt. Timeout. The next thing I did. So after my frustration was thrown by the wayside, I don't think I did not put this in my show notes. I'm gonna talk about my socks next. So I've shown you this pair of socks before, long ago. This is, I don't know if it's Gusto or Gusto, but Echoes, and it is, I don't know what that says. Says $18. 80% merino wool, 20% nylon. I'm looking for a colorway. Color 1508. It is a fade. It is a very long fade, and it came in two balls. So it starts with this very dark, like almost black, and then it's gonna fade to gray. So I initially started this as sort of a practice with 9-inch circulars, because I had some 9-inch circular needles. I just wanted to see how I liked using them. And as you can see, I did not. After a while, I was working on the just the ribbing, and it may feel different doing stockinette with it, but the ribbing with those little needles, I felt like I was just turning my wrist too much and did not like it. It was starting to hurt my wrist, so I was like, okay, that's not going to work for me. And my plan with this is to knit them as long as I possibly can, make the most I can out of that fade in them. I would like to be able to see that fade in the leg of the sock. So I have made them so that the ribbing will be way up on my shin and calf, shin, whatever. And then that'll be a super long sock. We'll see how I like it. I may end up not wearing them ever, who knows? But I'm having fun with it. It's just a vanilla pair of socks. I'm not using a pattern. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. I haven't knit socks in a long time, so this is the first in a while. My new cast-on, one of them. One of my 2 new cast-ons is living in my daisy bag. I bought that at YarnCon. This is called Summer Session by Samantha Guerin. And you know how sometimes you aren't sure about your gauge, so you change needle sizes? Okay, let me show you what I've got. It's a tank top, and it has a cute lacy pattern. So I completed the back. Now, when I was not quite finished with the back, I started measuring for gauge, and I determined that my gauge was off. So the pattern calls for 22 stitches over 4 inches, and I was getting like 22.4. Something I need to mention, because that's an odd thing to say. 0.4? What? Where'd you get that? How do you even measure that? So I watched a video that Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits posted, and it is on her Knit Wiser YouTube channel. And she talked about measuring your knitting gauge and how to get a better idea of your gauge. And what she said is not to just measure 4 inches, but measure over a wider amount of stitches and then divide that by the number of inches that you measured and then multiply that by 4 so that you get your 4-inch gauge over a bigger space, which makes sense to me. If that didn't make sense to you, I highly recommend you go over to Cheryl's channel, Knit Wiser, and she explains it a lot better than I just did. So anyway, 22.4. So I'm like, oh, I need to go down a needle size. I needed to go up. Because, okay, so here's what I was thinking. My thinking is, if I block it, it's not going to block to less than what I've got. Which is wrong. So my thinking was backwards. I'm sure if I block this, it'll be just fine. So, that's where I'm at now. I thinking backwards about gauge. That sometimes, like I said, so I mentioned how I need to eat right for my personal digestive issues and everything. That really muddies things for me. It makes it so that I have difficulty thinking through things properly, and that when I'm not in that right state, that I just like glaze over. I cannot learn, I cannot think straight, I cannot do things right. And it's not like I'm a complete moron when that happens, but sometimes I feel like it. And I know when I'm not clear-minded, I should probably not think through gauge and things like that. So, this is how the lace work looks. I don't know how well you can see that. So this is the lace work on the front. So I am on my first shoulder. Oh, and by the way, I did start that second gauge swatch. I decided to use the back of the tank top as my gauge swatch because I figured that's small enough. That'll be a good gauge swatch. And then I started this one and I got 22.6. And then I went, oh, I'm getting farther away from gauge. I'm not getting closer. And that even did not sink in, truthfully. That did not sink in. I was thinking I need to go down another needle size. So this is how, yeah. This is why I need to eat perfectly for myself, or else I get befuddled. Is that a word? Did I just make that up? So anyway, this is my progress on the tank top so far, and really it is, as I was knitting this lace pattern, I was like, this is so fun. So it is about to increase from here, I believe, because it's a V-neck tank top. So I'm excited to knit this. This is Sonder Yarns Fleece and Flax in the colorway Mani Pedi. And I'm, even in real life, I'm not sure if I would call that pink or purple. I mean, it's sort of a berry color. I don't know. I guess it's nail polish color, according to Sonder Yarn Company. At least I assume that's what they're thinking. So that's Summer Session by Samantha Guerin. The next thing I started, okay, you guys, new yarn shop nearby. There is a yarn shop called Three Birds Yarn Company, Three Birds Yarns, Three Birds. You'll find it if you're looking. And it is, the owner's name is Erin, and Erin is Lizzy Knits on Instagram and on Ravelry. And she has a bunch of samples in her shop of her own patterns. So I picked up this cowl and felt it at her store, and I thought, I need one of these in my life. So this, she did it in different colors, but the yarn is Wool and the Gang, and hashtag made feeling good yarn. That's what it is, feeling good yarn. And this colorway is Eucalyptus Green, and this colorway is Curasao Blue. So this one, okay, I gotta tell you. So I started this, I was working on this as I was waiting for my son to land at the airport. I was in the cell phone lot at O'Hare, and look at, isn't that pretty? Look at that pattern, you guys. How cool is that? It changes from here. It's sort of, I wouldn't mind just repeating this part over and over. Anyhow. Yeah. So I love that. How cool is that? Anyhow, it is called Accumulation Cowl. It is a pattern by Erin Gates of Lizzy Knits, and it feels like a dream. This is going to be so you knit in the round, and it will be a great big tube. It takes 4 of these, 2 of each color, and I'm loving it. This is going to be the coziest scarf. The only thing I was thinking about as I was looking at this combination of yarns together, I was thinking she had a very light purple, and you can see in this blue, you can see some purple in it. And I was like, you know, that purple might complement this better. I don't know. And it's funny, I was asking my friends at the yarn shop, I'm like, what do you think? Which one should I do? And they advised me for the green. So I don't know. I thought about going back to the yarn shop and getting the other color just to sort of try them together. And I should just keep going with this. But I love it. I think it's so cool. It's so cool, and it feels so nice. So did I show you guys my buttons last week? I got buttons with my logo. Not last week, last episode. And I also got stickers that are exactly the same. I just recently, the stickers came within the last week or so. So I know I haven't shown those yet, but they look the same. They're a circle and you stick them. So these will be included with sandy bags when I send them to whomever. I do have a yarny new to me, not yarny. I have some stitch markers that Donna, who was the hostess of the get-together in Michigan, had given to me as a, would you call it a party favor? I don't know what you call that, a guest favor. And I meant to bring those to show, but you know what? I will show them next time because I don't have them here and I feel like I'm going kind of long. Actually, I'm not really. I'll go get them. I'm being lazy. Okay, so both the buttons and the stickers I got from Sticker Mule. This is a Sticker Mule sticker. And so here's the sticker. It actually has like the cuts around the circle, so you can pull that sticker off here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't want to stick it anywhere. And I showed that, right? So exciting. When I see people at places, I can hand them out. And then the stitch markers I mentioned, Donna gave me these, and they're all a bunch of different things like scissors, and here's a little ball of yarn, and another scissors? Huh, I didn't realize. And then a needle. So a bunch of cute things, and they're on these big clips. I like these. So they're removable, which is nice. So this is from, it's called Doreen Beads, and I looked at the website and I was a little unsure of the safety of that website. So I don't know where she bought these. I don't know if she bought them in a store or if she got them online directly from Doreen Beads or what, but I'm just going to say, if you go to the Doreen Beads website, be careful. I'm not sure how reliable they are. Maybe this was not even from the one that I saw. I have no idea. I did not ask her where she got them. So, yeah, super cute, definitely useful. I can always use more stitch markers. I have stitch markers in tons of projects and they end up hiding out and I never find them again. So remember to comment if you want. I was going to point to the bag behind me again, but it left where it was. If you want a chance at this, and enjoy your knitting. I hope everybody is getting ready for fall and having all of their makes completed and being cozy and warm and seeing family and friends and everything like that. I did not mention at the beginning, this is the last week of my summer break. So after today, today is Friday the 15th. So after today, on weekdays, I will be at school again. So this is where I transition to doing some of my fall videos that I've pre-recorded, and we'll see how things fall with that. Fall. Anyhow, remember, friends, to like, subscribe, survive, and thrive, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.